I'll be home tomorrow for sure. Early, bright and
Good.
early. Yeah,
Excellent.
Good.
It's been a long 6 days.
Yeah, I'm
6
sorry.
days in the firehouse. I mean, no matter how many calls you run, it's mentally just
Sure. Very stressful. But can I tell you what?
Yep.
You make
Yes.
it look good, buddy. You make it look real good.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
You make Brian look good.
Thanks.
I'm right here, guys. Jesus.
I love these guys. They're wonderful.
I'd ask what you're drinking, Bobby, but I know you just might got a cup of coffee, right?
Coffee,
Oh.
decaf. I mean, decaf. I could drink regular coffee, but decaf. Cheers.
Cheers.
In the Cat Lives Matter.
Tomorrow,
Yeah, cat lives
you'll
matter.
have bourbon for breakfast.
That's right.
Bourbon for Bobby for breakfast. There we go. We do that.
All right. Let's bring in. I'm assuming he's kind of right down the road from you, so let's bring him in. Actually, we'll bring him in as a guest. Let's go over here.
Okay.
All the way from the great bluegrass state of Kentucky, the home of bourbon.
Our resident cowboy
Sean from
with
Whiskey Wars.
the best voice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's right.
You're welcome.
He said, "Oh, thank you."
I don't know about you guys, but I have a handful of Bobby's wood. So yeah.
Hey, you all got a handful of my
Yeah.
wood.
We'll all be holding your wood in our hands.
Bobby, I love the way your wood feels in my hands.
I tell you, it is nice. I thought since I am holding Bobby's wood, I might as well drink some of his pick as well. So cheers to Bobby.
Oh, right on.
He's,
Hey,
drinking, he's holding his wood and drinking his juice.
Yeah, it's quite a night.
That is still my favorite pick. That of a rye. That is
It's very good.
Is very good.
What's up, 21090? Todd in the house. Good to see you, brother.
Cheers,
Thanks for being here.
Cheers, everybody.
Great shot.
Not to mention, 210.
Yeah, we're working on a great shot. We bring them in. We let the people. We let the anticipation build up.
21090 has also been a two-time Whiskey 6 guest.
Yes, and a fill-in panelist as well.
That's what I mean.
Todd is the utility man for this.
Todd is the man.
You need him. Yeah, he really is.
And a two-time Corbin Cash picker.
Yes,
that's right.
I think more on the way. Just like we got.
Right.
Amazing.
They got a lot of different picks, man. You guys are killing it, Todd. Todd said he's always ready. All right, let's bring in from the Bourbon Drop.
And everything he says is absolutely correct. I agree with everything.
It's Myron from the Bourbon Drop. What's up, Myron?
What's going on, family? What's going on, Whiskey 6 family?
How you doing, buddy?
What up?
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Oh, doing good.
Good.
We got in the glass tonight. Are you warming up with anything?
Yeah. So they ruined this bottle right here.
They did.
I had this bottle and I thought it was bad, and then I heard a lot of people say that the early times, man, the new blue tin cap, I do like it. It's just as good. I said maybe I got a bad bottle, so I went out today and bought one along with this OESO because everybody tells me that these are good. Which this is actually better than the other ones. The other two are just kind of bland. But this one right here and this one right here taste the same, man. They taste like Young Benchmark. They ruined Buffalo Trace, Sazerac. You guys ruined early times. That's all I gotta say.
I don't buy early times anymore. I won't do it. It's garbage.
Not to go on a long tangent on that one there, Myron, but it's a little sharp on the finish. Is that what kind of turns you off?
It's sharp. It's young. It's a touch grainy. Yeah, a touch grainy. Not necessarily bitter. It's almost got like this undertone of a licorice note. It's
not.
It smells like it's very corn forward. It smells like candy corn.
Yeah.
So Rick, like instead of black licorice, Rick likes to say
a long way.
Yeah, I just don't like it. It's not good. All right, all the way from the Great White North, Minnesota.
You know him.
Not necessarily the Great White North, but close enough.
You know him. You love him. He's my favorite redheaded stallion. Ben
Walker. Ben, what is up?
Double fisting Bobby's wood.
Yes.
And I got a third piece right here. And I will tell you guys something, not to brag, but this, Bobby, you know where I'm going with this. This right here, this was the first ever piece of the table ever sent out to anyone.
Yeah.
It was like from a couple of years ago, from the original table.
That's true. That is true.
I have an
Oh,
old
yeah.
piece. I have an old piece here, but it's not the first. But Ben,
Yeah,
you
this
are
is-
Bobby.
That's why I
Will
started
remember you
putting-
forever.
That's why I started putting dates on them. People,
this is a
because
OG.
people started talking about it for some, like, hey, I got this one here. I'm like, all right, let me start putting dates on it.
Anybody ever talk about the girth of the wood?
Nope.
This one's particularly girthy. This one's a little more length.
That one looks bent.
Well, you know, it's
What's that called?
slight
I
curve to
don't
one
know.
side.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just gonna say, Myron. I actually been meaning to do a video about this, and then I saw that Troy over at Baker Drinks just did it. Early Times Bottle and Bond was one of my favorite bourbons of all time, and then I got
Yes.
the blue cap, and it was like, all right, it's all right. Doesn't taste the same, but for $25, I'd probably still buy it. But got both of these bottles at the same time. I killed the one, I got into the next one, and the next one was garbage.
Garbage.
It tasted nothing
Garbage.
there's the original, and then there's one blue cap, and then there's now what I'm assuming is
Yes.
Yeah.
from here on out blue cap, and it just
Yes.
it's terrible.
Did you guys see my video? I put Black Cap against 1924 against something else. I can't remember
Yes.
what it was. And
I
the
saw that.
Black Cap won. The Black Cap is a beast, man. That 1924 is good on its own, and I do like it, but that Black Cap is a beast.
It's that budget bourbon, Brian.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, get it out of here. I'm not here for that anymore. I'm done with it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay. All right. Let's bring in one of our guests from Dirty RC. He and Bobby are gonna tell us about a couple things that they're gonna have coming up soon. Rick from Dirty RC. Rick, what is up, man?
I have to do it one time. Rick,
Cheers.
Rick. I didn't even see you there.
Okay.
Well,
What's
cheers.
happening,
Good to
Rick?
see you guys.
Cheers, Rick.
Nice to see you.
Thanks
for
for having
jumping
me
on with
on.
us tonight. Absolutely.
Sit around and
He's-
talk about some good whiskey.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Rick is one of only two.
Mhm.
There's 21090 and Rick now
Mhm.
are the only two times.
Two Peters.
Yep.
Two
You
Peters.
guys,
I
you
didn't
guys
mean
are
that.
the Dr. Disrespects
Wait.
of
We work on the
Of,
phrasing of that, but
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's what she
Hey, Sean, thank you. Thank you for looking out on that one. I appreciate it.
I'm
You-
sorry.
having two might be useful. I don't know.
I said two Peters.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't realize this was filmed in Burbank. Yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
We need to.
Hey,
you can officially call yourself, you and Todd can officially call yourself the two-time just like Dr. Disrespect.
there you go.
Okay.
Oh no. I don't want to ruin Tony C's day, but I hate to tell you, Tony C, the taller 1 liter early times is after Sazerac took over. So
Okay.
Yep. So you got one.
Didn't it,
You got one original.
didn't it get better? Like, didn't it like get,
No,
wasn't like bad, then get better?
It got
with
really
Sazerac?
bad immediately. Like the first batch, which is what he has, that taller bottle, that's the first batch that they put out. And that's probably the worst because they had no idea what they were doing, apparently. And then it has gotten better, but saying that, Myron was talking about the most recent version. And so, it's kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I see my lady friend Marie Persh. Hey, Marie.
How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. All right, so let's bring in our very special guest,
Yeah.
the owner and head distiller of Corbin Cash.
Really
right?
cool.
I said
Best
that
rise
right.
on the planet. Best rise on the planet. Corbin Cash.
Best
Yes.
rise on the
100%.
planet
That's right.
from Atwater, California.
Yes,
Let's bring in
sir.
David Souza. David, how are you, sir?
Going, guys.
Hey there.
Cheers, David.
Yeah.
Hey, David. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah.
Ben's playing the part of a power bottom tonight.
Wow.
Hey now.
He's an asshole, sir.
Wow.
Probably mid sip there, Brian.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
Brian.
No, I was trying to
before
do
we
like
get
I was
started-
holding, kind of I'm on the bottom, so I'm like holding up
I
the,
got
the
it.
whole crowd here.
You're like Atlas. You're Atlas.
You know I got jokes.
Hey Brian, before we get started, I was talking to Matt from Whiskey Wisdom, and he said that it drives him crazy when guys are watching on different channels because they can't communicate. So everybody who is watching on all of the separate channels go to the Whiskey 6 channel and then get into that live. And then that way we can feed people into the Whiskey 6 live, and then everyone can communicate within the chat, because Matt was like, man, and we've experienced the same thing. Not being able to, like, if I see someone in the chat I'm trying to talk to, if I'm in my chat, I can't communicate with them. So I have to go to the Whiskey 6. So everyone that's within the individual chats, that are in the individual chats, join the Whiskey 6 chat. That way you can talk to everybody else.
That's right.
And then while you're there, hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely.
Click it.
Good.
And the like button.
Yeah.
Right on.
As Marianne says, always, Myron's always right. So do what he says.
He is. Exactly. Thank you.
And we're going to have updates hopefully coming fast and furious for what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
So you want to be subscribed to make sure you're getting all those updates.
That's for sure.
All right, David. So first of all, it's good to meet you. I know a few of these guys have met you before. You know them pretty well. But I'm happy to finally meet you. Can you tell us a little bit about Corbin Cash? Because for a very long time, for people like me who has been into bourbon, but I'm in New York.
Yep.
So it's nowhere to be found here. I know we're working on it, and I told you I've got the store to do your first pick in New York. But tell us a little bit. It's always kind of been like this legendary, like I can never get a hold of one, and everybody talks about how great it is. Will you tell us a little bit about? Will you tell us a little bit about your distillery, what you guys do, and what you're all about?
Sure. Well, appreciate you guys having us on. And a little background of us. We are a 108-year-old farm. So we've been farming sweet potatoes and rye since 1917. And, each generation of our family, there's 5 now. So Corbin Cash is my son. He is the 5th generation, which is where the branding comes from. But I feel like each one of us have put their own stamp on the family business. And at one point, my goal was to take over the farm, but my parents are not much older than me, so we're like 16 years apart. So I decided that I was going to probably have to, do something in my own direction, and having a couple of people in my late 20s, early 30s teach me how to drink great booze. Got me into distilling. And so trying to add added value to our family farm and take the products that we grow and turn them into distilled spirits. And that's kind of was the birth of the distillery. And working with 100% rye and 100% sweet potato products was definitely very challenging in the beginning. But it took me about 3 years to get the process figured out. I bought a book off the internet, built a still, kind of started this thing in my garage. And then once I figured out, I think I got something here, then we got the license and actually built a, full-fledged distillery. And it's been challenging over 15 years of doing this, not just making the product. You think making the product's tough. Selling it's even harder. So building a brand, gaining your your recognition of, but it just takes time. And we always laugh. We spent many years with a really giant distributor, and we didn't really get anywhere. But then I always joke it's kind of a blessing in disguise, because this year we're going to release our first 12 and 13-year-old whiskeys, and if the distributor done what I wanted them to do, we wouldn't have that whiskey. So we'll look at that as a blessing.
And everybody's chasing age now, so that is probably going to fly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People are going to lose their minds. Yeah. That's awesome.
Hey, David, quick question, going back a little bit. What style still was the first still you built? The homemade.
So the one that I actually made was 5 gallons. Like I basically took an old beer keg with a copper column and kind of built a condensing unit, and I used a little electric kettle to heat everything up. And then eventually, I couldn't really, I could get good flavor profile in the whiskey whiskey, but for the vodka, it wasn't like I could really get it to where I wanted it. It tasted like a really good tequila.
Okay.
So once I got a bigger still, which our next size was, going to be a 150 liter, and then now we're on a 2,500 liter still.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, as a Kentuckian, I had to ask because I've seen a fair number of stills, and they all vary a little bit. So,
yeah,
it
literally was a stainless steel beer keg, all modified to, putting copper column together with a condensing unit, and almost burned my shop down one time. Just get too comfortable.
I would have loved to seen the ring camera video on that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like, I was so careful. And it's just like for the first year, I literally would get off work a 12-hour day at the farm, go home, cook mash, and then ferment it, and then sleep in my lawn chair in my garage for 12 hours because it would take 12 hours to just produce one bottle. And so I did that for 2.5 years. And then at one point I was like, okay, I'm pretty comfortable with this. I know what the recipe's going to be. And a couple times, I'm just going to walk away. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'm going to do this. And I come out one time and the hose where the outlet had actually got under pressure and blew itself out.
Oh.
At that point, I wasn't using electric anymore because I was impatient.
I see you, Ben.
I'm going to use...
I see you, Ben.
I hate it when the hose
an actual burner. And Bobby, if there's a fireman, you could say, that's a no-no. So I'm using an open flame. And when I came back from the restroom...
So tempting, though.
The hose had blown out, and it was spraying alcohol in the open flame, and it's just like... the whole thing.
Nice.
Thankfully, we didn't burn anything down, but...
Damn
that's
those
houses. That's when I realized this is why it's illegal to distill in your, you'll never get a home base.
Right.
Can I ask one question? Because this is one thing that I've always wanted to know.
Sure.
Whiskey is a waiting game. So you really don't know what that product is going to come out tasting like at the end. But when you get it off the still and you get that what is it called? New make. How can you tell, what says, what process do you go through that says this is going to be good, some good whiskey? You
don't. So, I mean, I think when you're tasting the White Dog coming off, it's coming off at 135 to 140 proof. You can taste, the difference between those heads and those tails. There's just this sweet spot. At the end of the day, there's so much.
Everyone's training room for a minute, please.
So much happening inside the barrel that I've had products that tasted really
I'll be back.
good coming off the still, but then come out of the barrel and you're like, man, I'm not feeling it. So a lot of it has to do with what your mash bill is, what and what barrels you use. So, I mean, it's there's no 100% guarantee, but you can tell by astringency coming off the still, or if you had a bad fermentation, like with beer, it won't be as prominent like when you taste bad beer, because obviously you're drinking that final product, but you will taste those differences coming off the still as well. So, but we literally still taste every gallon. We're like, as it's changing, each change in the still in, each plate we're going through, we're tasting it. And so we're always looking for adjusting for the best flavor profile.
So it's either like good shine or bad shine.
Correct.
When it first comes off.
Exactly. You want to think about like moonshine as one of those things. Like you want to look at it as, can I make this clear spirit taste good? And I would say that 90% of the time, if it tastes good, clear, you're going to be able to age it. Now, that doesn't say you can't mess it up with a barrel either. You can over oak it, you can under oak it, you can over extract the heat. We've had this happen to us in our, in our really dry, arid climate. we'll get 140 degrees in the summer in the rick house, and the whiskey after 6 years, you got to be careful because it will pass the char up. It'll go back into the raw tannins and suck those raw tannins back into your wood, and back into your whiskey.
That's what she said.
Thank you, Ben. I was giggling
not
over
help it.
here
I'm
by
sorry.
myself. I was literally giggling. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just teed up right there. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, that was teed up.
Yeah.
Sucked back
But
into
David,
the raw wood.
David,
Okay.
could you repeat that? That was particularly interesting about the tannin part. Could you repeat
Yes.
that part?
So, it's initially we were making, our initial stuff, our 5-year, our 1917, all that, it's under that 6-year mark. And that's kind of what got us rolling, put us on the map. But of course, you want to make older stuff. And so when we got to our first 7-year stuff, there was a few barrels that were a little bitey. And when I took the barrels apart, we could see where the whiskey had surpassed the char. So I would say your typical charred barrel after 5 years, that charcoal, which acts as a filter, it's going to be kind of spent. So, but in most places, Kentucky, Canada, cooler, where there's cooler climates in the winter or more humidity, you're not going to have such a draw. Well, here we don't get below 70 typically. On a consistent level, we have extraction all the time, so we don't get these really cold fronts for a long period. And so we're extracting all the time. And what happened, you could see where the whiskey had surpassed char, got back into the raw wood, and drew those raw tannins back into it.
Tell us where you are again.
Which led to one of the reasons we only use 3-year seasoned barrels. So the barrels that we buy are actually wine grade. They cost between $600 and $800 a barrel now.
So quality wood.
If we don't do that, we definitely have to do some temperature control. So it's been one.
Tell us where you are. Tell us where you are, because you keep saying.
So we're in Central California. We're in the kind of the breadbasket of California, but dead central. It's very arid. It's probably the most deserty part of California. So our temperatures, we can get up to 115 in the summer with zero humidity, and then but our rick house will get 135, 140. So,
Sheesh.
Holy smokes!
And
no
David,
wonder you have some of the high proof stuff.
Yeah, that's how we get those hazmats.
just sucking the water out.
Yeah, for sure.
David, I got a question about you were saying about when the whiskey surpasses the char level. Are you guys getting a little bit of an echo, or is that just in my earpiece?
I have
a little bit, yeah.
I got no echo.
Sometimes
Slight
it's
bit.
there and sometimes it's not. Now it's
I
gone.
agree,
That's
Ben.
weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Anyway, I was listening. I can't remember what I was listening to, and they were kind of explaining that with like toasted barrel products. So is that what they'll toast the stave? So then when the whiskey gets past that charred level, it goes into a toasted. It starts pulling from a toasted stave or toasted wood rather than like that, just the raw.
Well, so with toasted barrels, I think you don't open up as much. So depending on, if they're double, you're either going to have a toasted barrel or charred barrel. But what some people might do is to char, if you're going to double barrel and then maybe go into a toasted barrel. But the toasted barrel isn't going to open up, as deep into the wood. So it's going to be, I think, a little more, might be tougher for the whiskey to surpass that, since it's not, when you char the barrel, you're just burning it and open it up. But also all that char becomes a filter. So all that char that's left in the barrel is filtering your whiskey. So to me, what I see at least in our area is the toasted barrels aren't going to extract as much flavor. So you're not going to risk as much as going in as deep, kind of like why they toast wine barrels. It doesn't go as far into the wood. But
So
The key is if a barrel isn't seasoned. So if a barrel's only seasoned, say the standard whiskey barrel's 18 months. 18 months, you're still going to have sap in that barrel. So that's what your whiskey will, if it starts drawing into that sap, it's going to suck that sap right back into your whiskey. And if it's young, there's a chance that charcoal will absorb that flavor profile. But like what we experienced was at 6.5, 7 years, there was no changing that. That's how we ended up with our 12-year double oak. We took it out, put it in some French oak, and then forgot about it for 6 years.
A happy accident, right?
Yeah,
that is going to be good. I love French oak.
Yeah.
Wait,
Me too, Myron.
is that out yet?
Yeah.
That's not out yet.
No, that's going to launch. It was supposed to come out last year, and I just got busy with single barrel stuff, and I just didn't have time to. So that's going to actually launch probably sometime in September, October this year.
Is that going to be distillery only, or is it going to be for sale on the website?
It will. It's whiskey club only first, and then if there's any left after whiskey club, then we will open it up to the public.
You hear that? Whiskey Club. You want to talk about the Whiskey Club real quick? Because it's new. Whiskey Club, new. Corbin Cash Whiskey Club. It's a great
we have a whiskey
great
club
option.
online. You can sign up. So if you're part of our whiskey club, you will get the allocated bottles. First option in all of our allocated bottles, like our 12-year or 13-year, and some of the cool stuff we have coming out. We'll be actually launching our first 10-year-old barrel-aged sweet potato alcohol. So it can't be called whiskey, but it is 100% sweet potato, barrel-aged for 10 years. It will be a single barrel. And Bobby and Rick have tasted it, and it drinks like a really rich Armagnac. It's
incredible, and that's why we'll be finishing our single barrel right in a barrel like that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You're finishing it in a sweet potato?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Giddy up.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, David, I have a quick question. So, obviously, the farm, you grow rye and sweet potatoes. Now, when you started getting into bourbon, did you grow corn? Do you source your corn like locally? Like, what do you do about that?
We used to grow corn. Our area is really sandy. So when the water restrictions started happening, we still grow a little bit for, but not much. So my neighbors, they're kind of sure they're cousins by marriage, but they're literally a couple miles away. So if you get from Atwater where we are and you move into the Merced ground, so Merced soil is very heavy clay. So it's like going from beach sand to like just black clay dirt. And so that's where most of the corn and the malt is farmed. So when we started making bourbon, I just went to my cousins and I'm like, hey, you guys have any off-grade corn you want to get rid of? We want to start making some bourbon. And, just for us, we're all about sustainability, and it doesn't make sense for me to plant corn on ground that's going to take 3 times as much water. So we started buying all of their food grade corn that wasn't good enough for market, and that's what we're making our bourbon from.
Okay.
Right.
Really cool.
Hey, real quick,
Amazing.
Bobby, I think there's some noise coming off of your mic.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say before I could hear like a rumbling, and then when you muted, it went away. And I don't know if it's just like the mic is like rubbing on your T-shirt, or
is it gone
it's
now?
just like
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, you're not moving.
Is it? How about that? Is it there?
It's the fan.
Yeah, there it is. That's what it was. Okay. I was sitting there. I was like, "What the hell is that?" It sounds like and then for a second, I was like, "Is that Mike like picking up his heartbeat or something?" Because then it was kind of like in a rhythm.
It's a really good mic.
He has a very strong heartbeat.
It's a really good mic.
Yeah.
He's that excited.
Okay,
He's
mystery
that
solved.
Okay, gentlemen, and
I'm ready to drink some whiskey.
Yeah,
we ready?
I believe it's time. We've talked a lot about the whiskey. I think we should probably take
I'm
it.
ready to
Yeah,
watch.
listening to David talk about that is making me
What did everybody
thirsty.
warm up with?
John, is your palate cleansed? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I've had a fair amount of whiskey now, so I'm ready to taste the good stuff.
Hey, David,
All right.
real quick, we have a question down here. If you can clarify this, they asked, is the Whiskey Club only in California?
No, we have a way
Oh.
to get those bottles outside of California, actually.
All right. Well, there you go, Jorge, because I know Jorge's in Colorado.
Anywhere outside of California?
What's that?
I said any. Well, I mean, I know. Anywhere outside of California?
Yeah, there's a couple states like Utah and like Texas we can't go to, but we have a we use a couple of outlets. So yeah, we can get it outside.
Right.
Most states.
Cool.
That's
Nice.
great news.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Great. Okay. So we are going to start with. We're going to start with the rye. Now, this is Bobby and David and Rick. This is the base of what we're hoping to put out, right? This is the rye.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that your guys' barrel that you and Rick picked?
That's the one. So we picked two, but that's the one that we picked for Whiskey 6.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This
is
a single barrel that we picked to go with the bourbon. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah,
that's
so we
like
gotta-
an 8.5 year. The
By the way,
Whiskey 6 ones.
give Rick some props for helping out with the
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
the base model for
Thank
the
you.
Whiskey 6
Yes.
here.
Happy to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to
Right.
thank
I don't want
Rick,
this.
Bobby, and David for getting these samples, for going and doing the hard work of tasting, but then getting these samples in our hands. So thank you very
They
much.
fell on that
guys.
grenade. It was very
It
smooth.
was,
Yeah. Hard
David,
day.
any more
Hard day.
landmines or grenades you need me to fall on? You know I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm close.
Especially if they're out of Corbin Cash, right?
Yeah.
I need to go find some landmines to jump on.
Right.
So guys, watching what our plan is to hopefully have Corbin Cash's first Boo Rye blend. Okay. And so the rye that we're going to taste first is a single barrel Merced rye, 8.5 year, 149 proof.
Ooh, doggy.
So we're starting easy,
Ish.
and then we'll work our way up. But
This is why I warmed up with Todd and Andy's 150 proof Corbin Cash pick, just so I'm in the same proof range.
A good call,
right,
Rick.
exactly.
This thing smells tasty. That.
It's
incredible.
That rye that is going to be the base of whatever it is we come up with. So
there is not a touch of ethanol in this.
No.
It's
For 149 proof, you get no burn up your nose at all.
No.
I know. It smells so sweet. I don't get one drop of ethanol.
God.
Hey,
so good.
Do I have to say it again?
Best rise on the planet.
I'm telling you, the best rise on
So
the
it
planet.
smells sweet and a little bit of like earthiness, like not in a negative way at all, but it really has got a nice.
It's got a nice
note.
grape note too, like a grape juice, like a grape note,
Yep.
grape soda almost.
And there's a little bit of like a juniper, like a gin, but not in a bad way. If that's bad for some people.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I didn't get
and
that
I've
grape
had a
note, right?
There's
Myra, I get
there's
that
a
now.
flowery.
There's
Yeah.
a flowery
Yeah.
note to it for
Yeah.
sure. I'm flower.
Every time I sip any of their stuff, it blows me away that it's 100% rye. It blows me away.
It's
But I
got a
think
very unique flavor to it. They always do. They seem to.
Well, and I think that's where we go back to talking about the terroir, right? So, and I think Bobby and Rick tasted this difference out. So when you come out to the distillery and you do barrel tasting,
Mm-hmm.
the whiskey, the rye that's grown in sweet potato fields, has all those florally, more fruit forward, like dried apricot, butterscotch notes, versus the rye that's maybe growing on an almond field that had been pulled out of almonds, or just a rye field that's been in rye for many years. Each one of those terroirs tastes different. So, which is something, we wouldn't know that if we weren't the farmers. So we're starting to see like the fields that have been farmed over in sweet potatoes, that adds a lot of complexity and just different flavor profile notes. And so I think when you taste the actual single barrel sweet potato, you're going to see a lot of those same notes it's going to kind of make sense for the rye, why the rye tastes the way it does.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask, and you obviously just answered it, but growing the sweet potatoes obviously influences the rye.
100%. Yeah. So, you know, the rye was for 90 years, the rye was just farmed as a cover crop. It was, you know, it was dust control, weed control. And then eventually when I started making whiskey from it, it, you know, became more viable for what we do now. But initially it was just a cover crop.
Well, I gotta say, David, I'm not upset right now. I know that.
No.
Well,
no, not at all.
That's great.
The other thing is, if you handed this to somebody and was like, "Here, this is almost 150 proof," there's no way. They'd be like, "Get the hell out of here!" It drinks so nice, and I know bourbon snobs hate this word, but smooth. Like there's not a bit of harshness to it. Like if you put those two things together, 149 proof rye, people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's gonna melt your face and be so sharp and hard." And this has none of that.
A garden snail.
Yeah, if I was doing this blind, I would guess like mid 120s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think
so much smoother.
That's the cool thing that even I'm surprised about. You know, it's like I wish I could say I was just like, oh yeah, I just know. Like, but I think a lot of it is a combination of the type of rye we have, because it's not a traditional rye like you get in the Midwest. So I think that component has something to do with it, but also you know, the way we handle our barrels, the way we custom char them, a lot of that it has the influence as well.
Has David gone sideways, or am I having a stroke? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you're sideways, David.
I'm either way drunker than I think I am.
What's gonna happen?
I was going to say the same thing, Sean. Yeah, I've only had a couple of drinks.
Oh,
No.
Let me.
That's that 149 proof kicking in.
Just lay on your side. Just lay on your side.
Immediate. Yeah, that.
David's gimbal's been infiltrated by Russian hackers.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Let's see how I can fix that. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Nope. That didn't help.
No.
Can't you turn the camera? It looked like it was working when you were actually turning it.
Yes, and like when he was doing it, no, the other way. I
There
really
we
keep saying,
go.
keep going.
You tricked there.
Yes.
Go back. Hey!
There we go. That works.
So, a little bit of shameless promotion. This whiskey can turn your world upside down. If that's good or bad.
That's right.
There it is. That's our tag.
Deck Nut on the Rocks, welcome. Good to see you.
Yep, right on.
Well, Brian's got that Hellfire Club shirt on, and since this whiskey turns you upside down, maybe we could come up with something like the upside down.
Oh, brilliant,
sort of
Ben.
thing like that.
Ben, you're so smart. Ben.
Well, you know, from your lips to God's ears, Marianne. You know, this has such an interesting, like, even just the few sips of this. There's just like, once you swallow it back, there's this wave of building like heat, but not necessarily ethanol heat, but it's like this warmth, just building flavor. And I can't put my finger on it. It's got like a little bit of cinnamon. It's a little bit tart, like in a very sweet way. I think maybe kind of Myron was saying that grape, almost like a grape candy, like very lightly. But I've noticed on some of the other Corbin Cash products, I've gotten kind of like somewhat of a fruity note, but then kind of like an underlying, like an artificial chocolate, like Tootsie Roll style chocolate, but not like milk chocolate, but like that. And then it just kind of comes together and gives me like a Tootsie Pop. Like, you know, when you finally just bite into the Tootsie Pop and you get the Tootsie Roll and the flavor
after the three licks,
the
sucker
too.
Yeah,
after the 3 licks.
After the 3 licks,
Yeah, do what the owl told you.
That Tootsie Pop, that Tootsie Roll note, that chocolate Tootsie Roll note, it's slightly earthy, and then you get that like it's this burst. It's like this burst of a grapey. I don't know. It's got a really nice grape note. It's got this really nice, super sweet, fruity grape note, and then I get what you're saying, Ben. You get like that Tootsie Roll chocolate. It's not like a milk chocolate or a dark chocolate.
Yep.
It's like a little bit of an earthy Tootsie Roll chocolate.
Yeah. Hey, Myron, is this your first Corbin Cash?
No. Remember, we had Todd's 21090.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Same
So this is no one's first
situation.
experience with Corbin Cash.
No.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Well,
It's,
I remember.
yeah. And it does
I'm
not
getting
drink
like
anywhere near as proof.
no, it isn't. It isn't as hot as what you would think it is. But what I'm getting is like a close to a cayenne pepper, but not in that like awful way that's burning my face off. It's like, I don't know if you know, but sometimes people make cupcakes, like especially chocolate cupcakes, and then they put like a bit of cayenne in there to give it a spice. And so like to go, yes, for real. There are bakers who do that, especially on like challenge shows. They like to put a little cayenne in their chocolate, especially their cupcakes, to give it like that little bit of punch. And so to go along with like what you're saying about the Tootsie Roll, like I'm getting like this cayenne kind of warmth.
Yeah.
And I think that would go that goes really well with like the chocolate that you're describing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's not fading. It's really it's a nice burn. It's not hurting or anything like that. It's just a nice rich burn that I actually really
100%.
enjoy when I'm drinking whiskey.
And the aroma, like the flavor that it leaves, like the finish, I guess, it sticks around for a long time.
Yeah,
like you have that aroma in your mouth
lingering
for a long
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm. So what are we drinking next? Otherwise, I'm just going to end up pounding this.
So I think
I guess the
David,
50-50, right?
Dave, what do you normally get on? Do you remember this? Do you get the very similar notes on most of them in that year range, like from 7 year to 8.5 to 9 year?
Yeah, I think sometimes there's a little more of that cinnamon spice in some batches versus other batches. Sometimes I attune that sometimes to where the barrel's at in the rick house.
Okay.
The higher barrels maybe tend to draw a little bit more of that cinnamon note. But that's the first time I've ever heard grape. Like we get a lot of fruit, like apricot, butterscotch, like persimmon, but I haven't heard grape. But it's interesting, like
it's fruity on the nose too, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a flavor note you are tuned into too, Myron, because you get grape a lot on stuff. Like that is one, like when you have your Eagle Rare, you always talk about like how you get that.
A lot of people get grape on Eagle Rare.
I think it's something you're like tuned into for sure.
So
Ben, do you hear this a lot? Come on, Ben, pound it.
When I remember when I was tasting it, I got that cinnamon. It was like a candied cinnamon, almost like Red Hots.
Like
Swedish
candied
fish,
cinnamon,
red hot, cinnamon, red hot,
Brock's, Brock's cinnamon, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's if you entry level with our normal rye in the 1917, like that typically has this longer chocolatey finish. So I think that note gets stretched out with a lot of other complex flavors as the whiskey gets older, which you pull from some of those barrels. But I think depending on where they're sitting in the rick house has to do with that cinnamony spice, because I think we already get the rice spice, but the cinnamon notes I think is from that astringency pulling on those barrels sometimes. So
you guys want to do the 50-50 next, or the
which should we do first?
Yeah,
I'm just smelling ahead, and things are going to get exciting pretty soon.
Yeah. So we doing 50-50 or the 66-33?
I'm on the 50-50 next.
50-50 as well.
That's what the plan was in my head anyway. 50-50 and then
while we're pouring this up, David, Deck Knight asked, what's the distribution plan? Is there a plan to distribute to Tennessee, specifically East Tennessee? I guess in general, I know it's kind of, you got to go individual state by state. Like what is your plan for getting it out there to more places?
Well, so we just switched distributors this year. So by the end of this year, our goal is to be in 5 Western states. So Nevada, Arizona, Washington, Colorado, and then so that'll be with one distributor. And then we're also, we've been using, with our single barrels and all the whiskey clubs and, YouTubers have been using Bourbon Concierge. And so I don't know if you've seen the new tags we put on our bottle that they have this, the RFD. So we've been tracking those all over the country, and actually they're going all over the world. It's crazy. We got stuff in Australia, Japan, Brazil, but we've been looking for the hot spots of where we're finding the bottles. New York is one of those hot spots.
Let's go.
And, so we're kind of trying to figure out the key for the hard part for us is just, it's really not, is their customers, is the distributor, is finding the right distributor that's going to give us the attention to get it to the retail. So we've had 3 or 4 retailers from New York call and want to pick up our regular line plus do single barrel picks. So when we have that, it makes it a lot easier because they're going to go to the distributor and be like, hey, we want to pick this up. In the old days when we just rely on Southern Wine and Spirits to do it, it just doesn't work in our wheelhouse So, but yeah, we're definitely looking at New York. We would love to be in Tennessee. I think, although it's a franchise state, so sometimes the franchise and the control states can be a little challenging sometimes. So we have to kind of take those on a, individual basis.
So if I want my shop to get a Corbin Cash pick or start carrying Corbin Cash, I need her to get on the distributors, basically.
Yeah. Well, so we've had such an outcry from New York. I'm actually seeking out distributors. It's just really trying to pick the right one. So, the big guys, it's like, oh, you want to go to Southern. Southern's never going to really sell our product. So we're looking for, more of a mid-tier. We've been in contact with a couple of different ones that, so hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have one picked out and be able to distribute to New York.
Great.
And we've had retailers say, hey, we'll use LibDib, and we can use LibDib. They have their own challenges, but if our goal is to keep the retailer happy as well and make it easy for them.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Right on.
All right. Has anybody gotten into it yet?
You going 50-50?
Yeah.
50-50.
I have gotten into it, and you may see a grown ginger weep on the internet. I might cry. This is so good.
Yeah.
This is a complete
Ben,
departure
I'm glad you
from
hit that
the
one
ride.
first.
So one thing I'm 2 sips in now. The first sip is going to come across very light because it came off hazmat. So I would let the second sip just kind of sit in your mouth a little bit to kind of soak into your tongue and get your palate adjusted.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
What is the
I'm
proof?
just sitting here giggling.
What is the proof on the bourbon that you?
That's what I want to know.
The proof on the bourbon was 106.
Okay.
So this,
I can tell it's lower proof. Super sweet, corny. It's really sweet, like table sugar sweet with a little bit of caramel. It's
man.
Myron,
I love hearing this.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like everything I'm getting off of this is like your bacon cookies. You got the granular sugar, you got the brown sugar, you got the melted butter and the caramel.
Yeah.
Really? All that sweet stuff. And it's one of those like sweet tasting things where it almost feels textured. Like you can almost feel the sugar. You ever have that when you sip something and the flavor of it almost feels like it has a texture? Mm-hmm. This is leaning, I wouldn't have guessed that this is 50-50. This is leaning way more towards a bourbon for me.
Yeah, agree.
And I think it's quite different than just the rye itself.
Oh, yeah.
And
Totally
boy, this is, I was going to say, I know Bobby said, I think you and Rick both had a favorite. And I was going to say, if this isn't it, then I don't even know what the hell is.
I'll say Rick, Rick, and David all had a favorite, and it was the same one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This reminds me of a Snickers bar. Like I could imagine eating a Snickers bar and drinking this with the Snickers bar, and that has never happened to me before when sampling a bourbon or any sort of whiskey. This is I think the flavors of this would meld beautifully with a Snickers bar.
Yeah, this is amazing.
For me, the grape note is really punching hard on this one. For me,
really,
yeah, like grape Jolly Rancher is what I'm. One of the notes I'm getting.
Huh.
I'm getting that a little bit on the finish.
To that.
I'm getting a little bit of it on the finish, but not on the palate.
Yeah, primarily on the finish. Yeah.
Does anybody have like a campfirey smokiness in your mouth when it's gone?
No.
I do.
Not for this
It's like a smoky grape.
It's faint, but
There you
there's
go
just
with
like
that
this
grape.
little hint of smokiness that I'm digging right now.
Not getting this.
Like this is if Buffalo Trace could put out something this good, which they never have, this would be like the greatest Eagle Rare barrel of all time.
Oh yeah.
Do you think this is better than the potential E.H. Taylor 100 proof BTAC?
Yeah. Right. I mean, because like I've had some pretty good Eagle Rares. The problem is, they water them down to 90 proof. If they stopped being bitches and made some good whiskey, then they could maybe try and make something kind of close to this. Probably not this, but maybe they could try.
Yeah, Sean. The
Dave,
more
you probably don't remember what it tastes like.
Shots
Right?
fired. Buffalo.
David, you probably don't remember what it tastes
We
like,
lost
right?
you, Rick, for a second there.
Man, that's good.
I faintly, but now you
Okay.
guys are making me want to taste it again because
I know, me too. I'm like, you mother beepers. I'm at work.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I'm
Well,
well,
and
some old crow.
As you drink it, the sweetness actually calms down a little bit, and you get a lot more like I'm getting caramel, not like the super sweetness of the caramel, but just that buttery caramel flavor. Like,
yeah, buttery.
This is really good.
Okay, so now
Almost like buttered caramel corn is what I remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
So what? So now I got a question for you guys. What are you preferring? Are you preferring that single barrel? Or are you preferring this? I know they're completely two different animals, but we're talking
I'm preferring this.
Yeah,
Okay.
this for me as well so far.
Because it's different. It's different.
Here's the problem, Bobby, is that I already know how the conclusion. So
Hey, I'm just glad you guys like these two so much.
so I can't. I'm waiting to get to this one because
man,
I know how the story ends.
So
Did you get into that one already?
David, the mash bill on the mash bill on the bourbon. The sour
The
mash
mash bill on the bourbon. So this is a sour mash bourbon,
Right.
not a sweet mash bourbon. So this is a 75% white corn, 25% Merced rye, and then 5% Pacific malt.
Okay, so we're doing math on that, right? So there's a lot of rye in this bourbon, so it's still heavy on the rye.
Yeah, it's a high rye. Yeah, high rye bourbon.
The high rye.
Right.
David, I got to say, man, if all goes well and everything goes according to plan, I would love to do this again with a hazmat bourbon because my God, if this is like this.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen such a. You know how you can tell when somebody smiles, it's one thing, but when you can see genuine happiness on their face, Sean looks like a kid on Christmas morning right
He
now.
does.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, I mean, you just look absolutely giddy, man. I love it.
I kind of am. I'm pretty happy right now.
So David, the bourbon that you blended the hazmat rye with, was that watered down any? Was that uncut? I mean,
that's okay. So when we made our first sour mash, I wasn't a bourbon guy. I became more of a bourbon guy after I got into the business. So we started out with a sour mash, but these barrels were, we wanted to kind of reminiscent more of Kentucky, so they were temperature controlled. So we went into the barrel at 110 proof, unlike our hazmat.
Okay.
So our hazmats went in at 125. Our standard rye goes in at 120. These particular barrels went in at 110, and then we temperature controlled them. And after 4 and 5 years, 6 years, some of this is 4, some is 6, we're at about 106 proof. So we actually went down in proof like Kentucky. So that's.
So I was going to ask if you guys thought about going in at a lower entry proof to get more body in the bourbon, because this is it's very viscous. I mean, I like it. Everything about it I like, and I was wondering if you watered it down. So really, Sean, we are drinking not hazmat, but we are drinking cash strength.
Yeah.
They didn't water any of this down.
Yeah.
This
It's both cask strength, but the other one is, like I said, 106. It's bottled right out of the barrel. So,
Rick, what are you getting on that? What are you noticing on it at the 50-50?
The 50-50, I got to be honest, I'm not a fan. I need more rye in it. I think we did and listen, I love David's bourbon. I'm just being straight with you guys. And I love their rye. But the mix for me, now I remember. I couldn't remember what was what in terms of when you and I and David tasted it.
Yeah.
And now I remember that there was a huge delta in flavor profile between the 50-50 and the 66-33.
Yes.
So I can't wait to taste the 66-33 to see if my memory is where I'm at.
Yes, that's.
Right.
I remember. The three of us. The three of us we tasted one, and then we're like, okay, this is good, you know. But then we tasted the next one, we went, oh shit, this is it.
Hey,
this is it.
Todd, there you go, man. Got it. Yeah.
But
well, let's get into
that's
this.
That's coming from a rye drinker, so you know.
Yeah.
Cheers,
right
everybody.
On. You guys go on the next
Cheers.
Are you guys on the 66 or you still on 50-50?
Yeah, we're on 66.
Shoot. All right, I'm behind. You get with it.
My God, the nose on this.
So is it Todd that's on or Andy?
Todd.
Yes, it's Todd. It's Todd. It's always Todd.
So Todd, I'm drinking 210 Old Crow Pick.
Nice.
And I absolutely love this. It's got that tastes a little bit like mezcal. Like it's got that smokiness to it.
All right.
That. What's that?
More than the other two. This one comes off more ethanol. Like this one on the nose seems proofier than either of these two.
It was hot on the nose for sure.
It's got more of the rye in there.
This is for me. It's butter. It's butter, caramel, and cinnamon. It's so delicious.
I gotta say, I mean, I know you guys. I know where you're at. I mean, I knew going into this where you guys were at. I don't know if I like both the 50-50 and the 66-33.
Yeah,
I do too. I don't know what to do here.
The 66-33. So let me give my thoughts. 66-33, little nutty, but it drinks more like a bourbon, even though it's higher in the rye.
Right.
To me, it drinks more like a bourbon.
I would agree with that. I agree with that, Myron. For real.
For 100% rye, the Corbin Cash rye, if you don't know what it is, you might think it's a high rye bourbon on its own.
Yeah. We get a lot.
Incredible.
So the second sip is definitely better. I think I have a sweet tooth. So
I do too.
This one really hit for me. This one second sip was better. I think it's just that punch from the rye. I am more of a bourbon drinker than a rye drinker.
Mm-hmm.
So that punch from the rye just kind of surprised me after drinking the 50-50, but the second sip was much better. So I'm going to keep going on it before I pass.
Yeah, keep going.
One thing I will say, I mean, obviously we're stepping up in proof again. The 66-33 is clearly more viscous, like just the way it feels in your mouth, like it's much more mouth coating. That said, I think I like the palate on the 50-50. I like the finish on the 66-33 better.
So that's easy. We could do that, right?
So Sean likes it. It's smooth in the middle and then gets smacked at the end, is what I'm hearing.
60. We need to go 60-40.
Just in general in life that's.
I know what that 60. What's the last one we're tasting?
You know what?
What is the blend on that one? What's
66-33.
You know what it tastes like to me? It took me a second. Have you ever had those roasted street nuts where like they're selling them on the street with the cinnamon and stuff? That is exactly what that one tastes like to me.
Huh.
Yeah,
it took me a second.
I do think I'm with you, Sean, on the finish.
What?
Like
Somebody said something. What?
Oh, sorry. Who was
somebody
talking?
said something? I said about the cinnamon nuts, and somebody said something I didn't hear.
No, I said I'm surprised Ben wasn't on the switchboard for that. But
Oh! Street nuts. I said that's why.
My hands full of whiskey.
I was saying, I think I'm with you, Sean, on that because this one has that finish like the rye did. Like it sticks around for a long time. It's a very pleasant, like warm finish in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. And just to clarify, I like the flavors of the 50-50 better.
Yeah,
I do too.
I do wish that the proof was higher. Like I wish they punched a little harder. Just the flavors themselves.
But I'll say between the two of them, it's the flavor profile is more unique on the 6633.
I would say so.
Yes,
I would say that it's more of a ride with the. I think the 50-50 is more of a. If you're just gonna get into it, it's an easy sipper for anyone from just getting into it. Even if you're not a big whiskey drinker, if you're more nuanced, I guess there's more to talk about, more to do, more going on with the 6633.
Yeah.
You know what I'm looking forward to doing?
More complex for sure.
I'm looking forward to doing
Viscous.
the Benny Walker blend at the end.
Benny Walker blend.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Yeah. Which will
know.
be
It'll
be like 1,000 proof, right?
Yeah. Well, according to Ben, his whole philosophy, you add it all up. There's no average. It's just whatever's in the glasses. That's what the proof is.
Some of these are already combinations of things, so we have to add
Exactly.
those together as well.
Exactly,
rye
Sean.
and 2 bourbons.
I'm mathing with you, Sean. I'm with you. It's fine. I got it. It's like 1,000, minimum 1,000.
I do have to credit. That's actually Greg math that I just continued when he left the channel. Speaking of which, saw Greg last night. Talked to him for a little bit.
All right.
Greg.
Good, man.
Yeah, it's winter is over, so
So
neighbors
people
are
come
starting
out of
to
their
see
house.
each other again, and
Yes.
the whole winter long in Minnesota, so you just see each other across the street on your front porch, or when you're clearing the driveway and nobody stops to talk when you're doing that. So
100%, we feel you here in Fredonia. We feel you deeply.
So
yeah, for sure. You guys seem
That's what she said.
Thank you, Myron.
There's
so much happening today.
Question to the panel. What's your
Sure.
favorite nose out of curiosity? I know what mine is.
50-50.
Mine, I have a
Jennifer
Skip
Grey
Fury
from
nose.
Dirty Dancing.
Thank you, Ben. Did you hear what I said? I said I have a Skip Fury nose. Ben, you and I are just like on it today. We're on it.
Okay, I'll agree with Sean on that. I like the nose of the 50-50, but I'd rather enjoy drinking it than smell it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just curious. So
I would agree. That's the middle one, right?
Would you rather lick it than smell it or drink it than smell it?
Was that immediately?
Things, Myron.
Yeah, Myron, I agree with everything Myron says.
And
Okay, so now
always the
I'm gonna
answer.
say, was that nose immediately after the pour, or did you let it just settle for a little bit to let some of that ethanol burn off?
Might have been sitting about 45 minutes is when we started.
Okay, so you're still sitting open.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if any of these are the neck pour.
Yeah, I think
Only Ben.
I think that 50-50 definitely like I'm getting more burn on the nose on the 6633 than I did on the plain rye. Like it's wild. But the 50-50 for me has a better nose. I am torn on the palate though, because the bourbon drinker in me loves the 50-50.
Yeah.
The whiskey like nerd guy likes the complexity of the 6633.
Yeah.
So
Brian, I was going to say almost that exact same thing. I was going to say like this 50-50 is exactly what I'm looking for out of a bourbon.
Yes.
It's incredible. This like I could literally drink this all day, every day. This is amazing. I love it.
I don't recommend that though, Ben. I don't recommend.
No, I don't either.
Every day.
So
here's those sweet notes that those like this is dessert in a glass, and it's got like there are certain bourbons that I have that I absolutely love that about. But like you said, Brian, the whiskey nerd in me, this one is more of a conversation piece. This is the one that you pull down off of the shelf when your buddy, who is also a bourbon enthusiast, comes over and you want to pour him something that he's never had before. You take this 6633 out, you'd be like, try that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's you bust this one out for that.
It's changing as you sip on it more too. That 66 one.
What's a possibility to do both? I mean, they both sound great.
They are both great. But guys, go back and forth very quickly. No palate cleanse between. Go back and forth between the 50-50 and the 6633. What's your favorite finish? Because I think
I'm about to go back to the 50-50.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I really well, I won't say. You go ahead and do that, and
Wait,
then
you want me to drink it without drinking water in between? You just want me to sip both of them?
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Raw dog it.
Okay.
So-
Okay, Ben, for you, I will. My
So,
redheaded stallion.
Real quick, O'Malley 16. He says, "Why am I not seeing other people's messages?" We're streaming on several channels to try to get
Go
exposure.
to the Whiskey
but
6.
we really want you to come over to the Whiskey 6 channel, and that we're hoping that's where most people are.
We're trying to
So
drive
come
the
on
traffic.
over to the Whiskey 6 channel. Most of the chat is there. Subscribe to the channel, and that's where you'll watch us every time we're on.
Yeah.
The nose on the 50/50 is just fucking amazing.
it is. I wish, like, if that nose translated to everything else in that glass, that would be.
Yeah,
This is
The nose is
crazy.
nose is like candy.
I mean, they're both good. It just, what are you in the mood for?
So,
I mean,
so here's my question to everyone that just did the back and forth.
I did.
I really feel like that the finish on the 6633 is just so much better that I cannot.
It wasn't close for me, actually. Actually, when we tasted them at the distillery, it wasn't close for us, to be honest.
I don't love the finish on the 50/50. That's where I'm at.
And
there's almost a graininess in the 50/50.
I'm liking the 6633 better every time I take a sip.
I'll tell
For
you
real.
what, Sean, you nailed it, because when you do them one right after the other, the 6633 blows it away.
It does.
Yeah.
And
blows it away.
it's
And the
changing
thing
every
is-
time you drink it.
Yeah, and the thing is, the finish is what you're left with. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Sean, what you were
Anybody
saying,
get-
I'm right with you, because the bourbons are great and the ryes are great, but for whatever reason on the 50/50, it almost leaves me with like a little funk. It's like a funk.
yeah.
But that's not there on the 6633.
Yeah, there's a slight, and I want to be very clear. We're talking about two incredible whiskeys here, folks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
We are nitpicking things right now. But
Yeah.
there's a very slight astringency for me on the end of the 50/50.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get
Well,
that, but
I
I'm
don't like
only
this.
getting it. I'm only getting that from Raw Dog and the two next to each other.
That's it.
Exactly.
If you do them back to back, then you notice it.
You're right.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think-
but I wouldn't if we had this in a single barrel, I wouldn't sip another whiskey alongside it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the influence of the other one may be causing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the 6633 makes the 50/50 come out a little flat because of that. So I think that rather than like an astringent bitter thing, I think it's just more that it makes it flat because of the exceptional finish on the 6633.
And I definitely got a little
Great
bitterness
take.
when I went back to it.
Okay.
For
Thank
sure.
you.
And what you look like you wanted to say something, David.
Yeah.
You're muted. I can't hear. we
I've
can't
been
hear
dying
you.
to hear David's word bubble this entire time. I've been dying.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all, David.
Has he been talking
Bobby
this
won't
whole
like
time? And
this.
we
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby won't like this, but 6633 is 666.
Oh, I don't like that either.
Yeah, we're
I
missing
won't
some
like that
decimal
either.
points. There are
Yeah.
some decimal points missing.
Yeah.
Oh my
I know
God,
that.
are we gonna have an Iron Maiden tater
Oh
sticker?
my God. No, because then you'll get copywritten.
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, we'll probably get sued into oblivion. Like, no,
Did you hear David
no
yet?
one copyright strikes you faster than the Iron Maiden. But anyway,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
sir.
Yes.
Yes.
We got you, David.
I don't
were
know
you
what-
talking that whole time, David, and just thought we were ignoring you?
No, I was listening.
Okay.
No, I was
All
He's
right,
like,
good,
these
good.
guys are dicks.
Yeah.
No, I think it just boils back down to that rye is just more complex than the bourbon.
Yeah.
Like the sour
For sure.
mash bourbon, we get a lot of like it's really smooth, it's really tasty, but it's not there's not a lot of super complex notes to it. It's just more of a really easy sipping bourbon.
Yeah.
It's an
Where I
easy
think when
drinker.
It's an easy drinker, and so I think
Yeah.
we had the same conversation at the distillery when we mixed them as
Yeah.
50/50. Just the nose on it though is like, man, it's like
The
going to
nose is
carnival and
incredible.
It's an
caramel
easy-
corn, just
Yeah,
so
The nose is
sweet.
like candy, just like candy. It's a beautiful nose, and it tastes really good. It's
So I
just
think we need
I
to
think
maybe we got our
complexity.
our next candle.
It's like
Yeah, there you go.
it's like a frosting because someone that joined before we even started tasting the 50/50, someone that joined on my side said cupcake.
Mm.
And then when we got into this, I told him, I said, yeah, the nose is like cupcake frosting. Like the nose is incredible on the 50-50, but the body and the flavors, that 6633 is special.
Yeah.
Myron, I like
that-
when. I'm sorry. I just like when Myron went,
And okay, so I know this is our pick. And
Brian is right there.
I know this is our pick, and we're gonna do what we want. But one small consideration is who's going to buy this.
Yeah.
Probably people that know about whiskey and want more complexity.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there. They're
100%.
nerds. If they're watching us, they're probably whiskey nerds.
Yep.
Here's my thing, and I know that we're probably pushing too far here, but could we talk Jay into buying two?
Well, the problem is,
I'm not against that, but
it's mixed with the same barrel, so you wouldn't have enough.
Yeah, we'd have to.
But
split,
wait,
we'd have to.
Well,
split
two
listen,
barrels.
listen.
So we could technically take half of each barrel and make two separate full barrel picks, right? Because it's going to be a pick that's made from two barrels this time, right?
Right.
Well, technically, I guess you could. You could take half of the rye and make a 6633 and take half and make a 50-50. Maybe.
I mean, that would be the benefit
the
of
problem
doing
is we don't know how much is in that rye barrel, right?
right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the thing.
We
So
did
it's all
not.
depending on the yield of the rye. actually.
Yeah, well, it's probably better just to go with one. I
And keep it simple,
I was
yeah.
just saying that for fun, but I mean,
Well, here's an idea too. Is well, depending on which way you go, but if you go with the 6633, is next time we seek out a maybe a higher proof, a little higher proof bourbon.
That
where
might
gives
do
you a
it
little
for that
more
50-50.
complexity.
That
So
might
you
do
get
it
that
for 50-50.
50-50
higher proof
nose,
bourbon.
but a little more complexity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
David, what's the highest proof bourbon that you've had?
Well, the highest proof bourbon we've released is a 150 proof, but I don't.
210-90 pick.
1090, baby.
Yeah, El
Yeah,
Cerrito
yeah,
has
man.
150.
Right.
But I have some more sour mash down right now that we did not temperature control. So I could pull those barrels. I got to see what the age is on them, but that's something we can look at, because I think part of this makes it special that caramely, popcorny nose you're getting is because it's the sour mash and not the sweet mash. We don't get that nose in the sweet mash. We get it in our sour mash. So by taking that old back set out of the still, putting it in the new cook, it kind of creates that old muted sweetness thing and those different aromas than you get on the sweet mash. So we just have to look at some sour mash barrels and see where we're sitting.
well,
All right,
if anyone
gentlemen.
has an empty
Dave,
glass,
go ahead.
if anyone has an empty glass of the 149 single barrel, go back to it and tell me if it smells like an oatmeal cookie, like a raisin oatmeal cookie.
No.
Not
to me, Myron. Sorry.
You're talking about the original rye we tried, right?
Yeah.
Smells
Sorry,
like
Brian.
Now it's not quite empty. I have a very small amount in there.
This
All right,
rye is
To me, it smells like a cinnamon oatmeal cookie.
The
Go ahead,
producer and me
Marianne.
is going to get us back on track. So
Okay.
I'm going to have everybody vote. We're going to vote. We're going to pick, and then we have to move on to our roundtable. So
No, we don't have.
Yeah,
to
I
do
was
that.
going to tell you guys, I have to leave a little closer to 9:30 tonight. 9:30
Okay.
my time.
We got
So let's figure this out. David's going to tell us a little bit about the process of getting this.
the labels.
and we'll
Okay.
get out of here.
Okay.
So do we?
I really want to do Would You Rather today. Damn.
we can do that too at the end. Bobby, you have a vote.
Oh, I'm going 66-33 for sure. It wasn't even close for
right.
me. It wasn't even close.
Sean?
Sean.
I think I have to go the same just because the finish on that is so freaking good. It really makes it for me.
Myron.
They're very close.
66-33, baby. 666.
All right.
No. We'll have to change it just slightly.
I agree, Bobby. I'm not down with 666 at all.
66.7. We'll round up.
Ben.
God, I think, I'm going to go with you guys, but I got to tell you, this one This is a coin toss for me, just because I think both of these are so good for two different things.
I agree.
And I think everything from the nose on the 50-50 is on the palate on the 50-50, and that's just so happens to be my flavor profile that I love. Is that's super sweet. But yeah, I mean, this is the whiskey nerd. The 6633 is the whiskey nerd one. Like, if I had an unlimited supply of both of these, I'm probably drinking the 50-50 more often. But I'm busting out the 6633 for the special nights.
Yeah.
When you really want something different and unique. So I'll go with the crowd on this one.
I mean, to your point, Ben, that's why I asked if there's any way we could get both, because they're
100%.
Yeah,
they're both exceptional. Rick, you're 6633, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So my
David,
vote.
can I just get one bottle of the 50-50? Can you do just a one bottling bottle?
Right?
I'm telling you.
Well, now you guys love it so much. I gotta go see what I can create.
Yeah. I'm so curious about the
I really
the
do, man.
bourbon
I
now.
just absolutely love it. Love it.
Yeah,
I
we
agree,
can
Ben.
just do like 10 for like elite Patreons and ourselves.
Well, and
So
we
what do you
can
I'm
got?
leaning more
we can,
towards ourselves on that one.
The cool thing is I have plenty of this sour mash, this 6-year-old sour mash, so we could find another rye barrel and do a 50-50.
But
Nice.
listen, put our names on it. We'll see how this one. If this one spells quick, we'll put our names on that one for sure. You're going.
I'm going 66-33, but like Ben, I was initially going to go with the 50-50 because I'm a bourbon drinker at heart, right? But when we raw dogged it, the change in the flavor, change in between the two, and that finish, and I got something different on the last time that I tasted it, and it was cherry.
Yeah.
I thought it was unique enough that, like, yes, you want something unique to give to people that you're giving this to for the first time. So 66-33 for me. Sorry, that was a long explanation. And here I go with my Benny Walker.
And I am almost
Let's get the blend.
exactly with Marianne and Ben on this 66-33 because I think it is the more interesting, more complex, and overall better product. But I like the 50-50 a lot. And so I would like to explore that in the future, David.
And to whoever said that was, I had a good take on something before. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't know who said it. I think it was actually Rick. So thank you.
I'm blending.
I don't know.
Like you guys are you're convincing me that maybe a 50-50 is our, that's a staple bourbon. It might be people in, right?
Pump the proof up.
Just remember who were the first folks to get you into a boo rye, David.
Okay. The fact of the matter is I'm not a big rye drinker at all, right? So like if you won me over with that 50-50, like that is really saying a lot because normally I taste rye and my eye twitches because I really don't like it. But tonight's samplings were absolutely like chef's kiss delicious.
That blend is not bad, but you do get a little of the astringency that you were talking about from the 50-50, Sean, for sure.
Yeah.
That's right.
And just on the finish, it's not bad.
That's fine. You don't want me to drink yours, I'll drink it.
Yeah,
give it all to me.
As Ben pointed out earlier, it's not been a bad night.
No.
It's been very good.
At what point in the night does Ben drink Pendleton Midnight? I don't know how these things go.
At that time, I feel like
at no point in the night does Ben drink that trash.
Okay,
that would be such an insult to this fine whiskey. How can a man who brought the word of Corbin Cash to the internet as much as Bobby did also drink Pendleton Midnight?
Well, I will say I never said it was a world beater, and I will say that Ben said it was better than is not as good as Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 and Basil Hayden. So there's that.
Yeah, that wasn't a compliment to Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 or Old Basil Hayden. That was just literally how much I don't like Pendleton Midnight.
Yeah.
Rick, I see your comment. Why not? Bah, 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 you're funny.
So, well, we're gonna find out. Not tonight, but we're gonna find out. But
so we did. I did a blend of all three, and isn't that actually? Didn't we blend when we had Todd on from 21090?
Yes.
He had sent a bourbon and a rye, and we blended them, and we were like, "Holy shit, we should do something like that." Isn't that what when that?
That's exactly
this
how
idea
we got
born
here.
out of another Whiskey 6 episode?
Yep.
So do we want to hear
the 50-50 is so smooth. It's a nice cool down and warm up drink.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It is so easy to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 50
I blended all
and the
three of
nose
them.
is so beautiful.
Do we want to hear about what
Thank you,
what
Myron.
takes
Yeah.
so long with the labels and how the labels
So-
get made and the TPP or
I'd
Yeah.
love to hear that.
whatever it's called?
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Like
It's-
we're kind of up in the air now.
It's a
'cause
new
this is
product.
it's a new product that Corbin Cash can be putting out. So, David, if you could quickly just give us kind of a little summary of like how does that process go and where are we at with this one and
Yeah.
what do you
Process-
anticipate being the time on this?
Our subscribers
Basically
leave us when we tell
now-
them about it.
Yeah. So basically, we have to create a new product. So it comes down to I have to check. So now that we know what blend we're going with.
Yes.
I don't think so. It's going to be what do we do? 6633. So it would be considered still a rye whiskey. So I don't have to get a new formula or anything, but we do have to get we have to get a new label approval. So we have to actually design a whole new label just for you guys around this. So it's about it's about my label guy coming up with something cool to really showcase this and then be able to put it out there and then get approved by the government. So it's going to take a few weeks to depending on how fast the government works, but we will definitely have this hopefully done for whiskey season. Whiskey season.
So you think fall is realistic for this?
What's that?
Fall would be realistic for this?
For sure. I think fall. Yeah.
I think you all mean fall.
Fall.
Just real.
He's from
quick.
Brooklyn,
Where's
David, so
Myron
he's
and
got a
Ben
speech
located?
impediment. What's
Where's
that?
Myron and Ben located? I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm in
Ben?
Buffalo, Minnesota.
Who just
Minnesota
brought up the
and
Camden
where?
accent? The Camden, New Jersey accent.
New
And
Jersey?
I'm in.
Really?
I'm
I thought I
located
heard
in Maryland.
Camden. Is that you, Maria?
Oh, you're in Maryland. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by
I was just trying to-
Andy.
David, quick additional question. If in the future we decided to go back with, just to make your life easier, if we decided to do a 50-50, if we did 51-49, that makes your life easier, correct?
Well, even the 50-50 is not a big deal. You just can't call it a bourbon or a rye.
But I mean, if we go
So-
51-49, then we can call it a rye, right?
If
Technically.
you go 51-49, or depending on which way you go, 51 bourbon. It could be a bourbon or a rye. If you go 51-49, yeah.
But technically, what we were talking about wasn't 51% one and 51% the other. It was still way more rye.
That's true. Yeah, still way more rye.
It was just a bourbon and a rye. We were
because there's rye in the bourbon. Yeah. So
Yeah, actually, take that back. Even the 50-50, even if you made that 51-49, it couldn't be a bourbon because there's still too much rye.
Right.
Okay. So either way, we're drinking rye.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and at the end of the day, I got to look at the regulations because it becomes, you can't even call it I think it would be a rye whiskey or it would some kind of a blend. It could be
American whiskey, just general, or
it could be American whiskey, but I think you can call it a blend. I'll have to do some digging on that. It's going to really, there's all these, especially rye's a little more relaxed rules. When it comes to bourbon, it's a whole nother level. There's a little bit more restrictions on bourbon.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, then
could I get something real quick that I know this is the Whiskey 6, but Rick and I also had a couple picks coming out. Well, they also need labels too. They're new products as well, right? We're having a single barrel rye going to be finished in. I think the barrel was a 10-year potato spirit barrel.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And then also
Rick's
the rye beer. The rye beer there's a great story there with the rye beer. And that one, if that one gets out in the summertime, that's going to be a banger because that is refreshing. That shocked the crap out of me. I'm not even a beer drinker. and I know it got distilled, but Dave, I'll let you take it over on those. They're especially that rye beer is great.
Yeah, so the rye beer was kind of an anomaly. It was during COVID. Our local brewery, Dust Bowl, I was making hand sanitizer for the community. They had a bunch of beer coming back. They had given me, they're like, hey, we got these kegs coming back. We got these cans coming back. We can't sell. So they were giving me beer to make hand sanitizer too. We were making it from our vodka products. And then he called me and said, hey, I made this rye beer and it's way too astringent for beer. If you want it, you can make it, you can take it and make hand sanitizer out. So then I went and tasted it and I'm like, it's bitter for beer, but god dang, this could be a good whiskey. So we went ahead and distilled it and then barrel aged it. And Rick and Bobby have tasted it, and it's like I just coined it. It's a beer drinker's rye. Like if you love beer,
so good.
You're gonna like it's so effervescent.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
It's freaking refreshing.
So you took rye beer and distilled that into rye whiskey?
That's crazy.
Yes.
Barrel aged it for 4 years.
It's like a mad scientist.
It's off the chain, dude. Yeah. I don't
That's
think
amazing.
that's crazy. I'm
So
not a beer
essentially,
drinker, and I was like, whoa.
It's essentially a malt whiskey, but it's a malted rye whiskey, but it has hops in it. And so the hops, but it's a really light hops because a lot of hop beers, when you distill them, they're just like IPAs are just terrible. But this one was just really well balanced. And, we didn't know what we'd get out of it. So it's been in the barrel, I think, almost 5 years. And
I was going to say about 5, you said, right?
Yeah, about 5 years. And it's just super refreshing. Like it's an anomaly. Like it doesn't taste like anything you've ever had before.
And the proof
How do I join this
it.
whiskey club?
The proof is in the 120 or something, isn't it? The proof is high on it.
It's so good.
It's got to be up. I don't remember if we proofed it, but I'm imagining typically after 5 years, we're going to be in the 125.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And it's
the beer drinker's gateway drug to rye whiskey.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so good.
I need a bottle of this.
So
Yeah,
So I know
sure.
there's 2 barrels that have names on them, and one is ours, and one is 21090.
Yeah.
And
So
we were
there's
first.
Yeah.
We tasted
We're coming for you, Todd. We're coming for you.
So there's that. So it's incredible. I don't even. There's only 3 of us here that have tasted this. It's
so good.
It blew my mind. I'm like, what do I do with this? This is really good. It's so hard to explain. I don't like beer, and I love this. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you guys think.
You know what?
It's almost beer taste.
It's almost like you feel like it's a whiskey you could drink in the summer because
That's
it's
what I'm saying. Yeah. This is a summertime thing. It's
just
refreshing.
Super
At 125 proof, it's refreshing. That's what's blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's not like a quadruple IPA where you have to floss your teeth after. It's so smooth. It's nice.
Supervisory alarm.
Quadruple IPA, otherwise known as grass clippings. So yeah.
All right, guys. So our next.
Damn.
Look at that Bobby.
Okay.
What you gotta do about
one?
Hold
All
up.
right.
Go ahead. Continue. I might be back.
Sure. Our next episode of the Whiskey Six
Be safe,
will be on June 19th. Unfortunately, Brian and I will not be able to
we
be
won't
there. So we'll need another host that night, but we can talk about that privately. Can you mute Bobby?
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, I would still like to do Would You Rather to get us out the door to close out the evening
Love
tonight.
Love it.
And then Ben, is it okay if we put you on the episode for June 19th for the rapid fire?
Yes, I should be
Okay.
able to be here June 19th.
Okay, sounds good. So then in that case, I'm going to turn it over to my cowboy, Sean, and you're going to Would You Rather us?
Yeah. So I have 2 options prepared. Would you rather go dark or funny?
I was just going to say, God, this is going to be horrible.
What did you say?
You know
No.
Funny.
Dark or funny?
Dark.
Funny.
Dark.
We need more votes. Dark or funny? Show of hands for dark. No hands. Okay, just one. Just me and Brian. So I guess we're going funny. All right.
Thank God.
I figured that would be the winner. So no one's going to be murdering anybody. Oh well.
Good.
All right.
Lord.
All right. So, would you rather have your sex tape presented as the sex ed tape for every college course till the end of history, or would you rather your children become the most famous OnlyFans models of all time?
Oh my God. Who goes first?
Whoever
sex tape.
I'll go.
Sure.
My sex tape. I do not want my kids to be on OnlyFans. My sex tape can go live. Fine.
Are my kids going to be the 10% that actually make money at OnlyFans?
Brian.
They are the most famous models of all time. So it's
no.
But what are they modeling? Feet? No one even knows who they are. It could be feet.
That's what I was about to say. See, there's a lot of variables in there.
No,
So
you can't ask. No.
models.
Am I getting paid for the sex tape?
Guys, you have to just answer the question as is.
I do want to point out that OnlyFans is not just for nudity, but just saying.
Listen, you have to just answer the question.
I'll go sex tape.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sex tape for life. All right. Fair enough.
Myron?
I am going to go OnlyFans. And the only reason why I say that is because OnlyFans is not always porn. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. Myron makes a good point.
Ben?
Oh, my sex tape for sure.
Thank you. Rick?
Option number one.
Okay. Bobby?
Well, no one wants to see number one for me, so I'm going. And my kid is 23 years old. I'm sure he would love to be making money on OnlyFans. So I'm going with that one.
Hey, Bobby, first we'll high five right here. First it's happening.
Going the wrong way,
the other way. The other way. Both of you do not know how this goes. Ben, let's show them how we do it, Ben. Come on.
It's the right way.
There it is,
and my
buddy.
screen's the right way right here. This
Can y'all leave an internet? There you go, Bobby.
Can I also say OnlyFans because it was cold that day when I made my sex tape.
Were you in the pool?
All right.
Okay, Costanza.
We haven't gotten David's answer. What's David's
I know. David is next.
Am I getting paid for my sex tape?
No, sir.
No.
Well, then if I'm not getting paid, then OnlyFans, so my kid will get paid.
All right.
And John, you have to answer your own question.
That's true. Well, see, that's the upside to having boys is I don't care if they have an OnlyFans. Good for them.
Yeah, there's that.
True.
No, my boy is not going on OnlyFans.
Okay. All right. Well, so I guess we could say that at some point in the coming months, you're going to have a 6633 rye bourbon blend coming at you.
I thought you were going to say something else. I was so worried. Oh my God!
It was a suspicious lead up.
Your local high schools that you teach at are gonna. Oh yeah, that's even weirder for you guys because you're teachers, so they would have to be in like your school district would be showing your sex tape for sex ed.
Point out all the things on your own tape. That'd be great.
I like it. David, thank you very much for everything, for letting us do this and for joining us tonight, and we really, really appreciate it. We're very excited, so thank you.
No, thank you guys, man. This is what makes it fun. Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Making whiskey is not always it's always fun, but dealing with the real world, you guys make this breath of fresh air. So
awesome.
This is why we do it.
Why we do.
No, why we do it.
Hey, David, we'll see you next Friday.
Cheers.
Can anybody guess who I am?
No.
That's David on the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, that freaking baller ass picture, David. You're like,
that's right.
Look at me lifting this bottle of vodka.
You got to put Bobby in his place.
That's right.
It's so hot right now.
But before we close out, a cheers to David feels appropriate. Yes, a cheers to our gracious host here. Thank you for all the whiskey, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, David. I feel awful cheering with Pendleton Midnight, but cheers.
Oh,
is that really what you're drinking, Myron?
Yeah, I cracked Bobby's sandal, man. And,
That is unfortunate.
After all that, dude, you can't do it after all that, dude.
Wait,
I
you were
just want
supposed to do a review of that, Myron, and you save it for a blind.
I'll
Do you know
just
what
buy a bottle.
Do you know what makes it even worse? It's with the neck pour of that Pendleton.
Yeah, that's what
I just want to see a meme of Ben with a Minnesota Vikings shirt on, holding the new sponsored Pendleton bottle.
Oh,
with a neck pour on a
Did Bobby show you that picture?
I
No.
will. Oh, it's hilarious.
Oiled
No.
up, oiled up.
The irony.
Oh no,
But
because every time I go to a liquor store here and they've got a Minnesota Vikings thing sponsored by Pendleton now, I'm putting in there a text message thread. I'm like, oh hell no.
But it's got to be your old like Wade Wilson jersey from middle school.
There you go.
The old school. You're going
Go
back
Vikes.
now.
Hey, and
Yeah.
I do have to point out one last. I do have to point out that David's a Raider fan, so I'm just gonna end that right now.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
Well, you and
Dang.
David both, and probably Rick too. Rick, are you a Raiders fan?
Dude,
No.
you don't even want to don't get started on Rick.
Oh God.
please say you're a Niners fan.
Oh no,
Is he a Browns fan?
no.
Oilers, Titans.
Okay.
Hey, listen,
Oilers don't even
we've
exist.
had a rough spell, but pay attention to Cam Ward. That's all I'll say.
Hey,
There you go.
All
hey,
right.
you won
Fair enough.
in the draft.
All right, folks. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We appreciate every one of you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the Whiskey Six and make sure you subscribe to Bourbon Note, Bourbon Drop, Whiskey Wars, Mash and Metal, Bad Axe Bourbon, Dirty RC Bar. Who did I forget?
Bourbon School.
Bourbon School. Yeah, Bourbon School.
That's a channel
But-
I hear.
Right.
Thank you all for watching. We'll be back on June 19th, same time, same station. Guest to be determined.
And host to be determined.
Yeah, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.